Yeah.
But it's good growth.
Yeah, good growth is necessary. All right, so getting into the first question, obviously we're celebrating 10 years of MAG44. What would you say has been the biggest lesson you've learned in the industry?
I think my biggest lesson has just been, keep going, and also be content. I think being content, being a big one, being thankful, of where you are in the moment. Because sometimes you can get so frustrated about where not meeting a goal that you can feel like you haven't made any steps forward. So it's like I've come 10 years, so many good things have happened. I mean, just this year I've got 2 things on Netflix. I've got like so many good things have happened just in the recent past. But sometimes you cannot see all of that because maybe like my focus is one day I need to win a Grammy and I don't have it, and I'm like, I feel like frustrated and depressed, like I haven't made it, like I haven't done anything. So I think for anyone, whether you are in it for 1 year or you've been in it for 10 years, 20 years, just be happy with where you are. Be happy that, hey, look, I took, this many steps forward. I did this, I achieved that, and be thankful to God, be thankful to the people around you for cheering you on to where you are now, and so I think being content and being thankful is just my biggest thing 10 years down.
The entire time you're talking about, I'm thinking to myself, like 10 whole years just working with your craft, building your craft, building the person that you are today. That's a very, very long time. I don't even know if I'd be able to put in 10 years of work. I mean, university was 4 years and it's left some of us mentally decapitated. But we do have a caller. Hi, how you doing? Call in and... Oh, sorry, not call in. We already have a caller. Go ahead and let us know what's on your mind.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So please go ahead with your questions and your queries.
Okay, so
first, what's your name? How are you and what's your name?
My name is Mary.
Hi Mary, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well, thank you. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. I'm fun.
Thank you. Actually, my young sister's name is Mary, so you I think we are related.
Oh, really?
yeah.
So now 44, how's it been? Are we getting something new? Anything cooking up?
Definitely. I mean, it's my job, so I'm always cooking up stuff. But I mean, it's just a question of, whether it's producing or me being the artist. So many different things are happening. I think I've done enough for this year. I mean, we did 3 great albums. We were on Chef's album, we were on Pompey's album, and now Tim's album. So I think I've done enough productions to celebrate a good year with regards to artists. So next year, it's got its own things. I mean, I can't disclose everything right now, but obviously the big one is the concert we are doing on the 24th of December. It's a celebration of 10 years of MAG44, and just a celebration for everyone, even you, Mary. There's things you've achieved over the years. They may be big, they may be small, but we need to celebrate. So I hope I'll see you at the concert.
Okay, could you tell me details about it?
Just go to my Facebook page and you'll get all the details.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Mary. Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was Mary calling in. Thanks for calling in. So Mary, first person to call in, had a bunch of questions, obviously, and will be part of the celebration. We hope to see you there. But you did mention the fact that, you've produced enough for the year of 2023. It's never enough. Even today, you can just go to studio today just to work on something,
True.
And that's the thing. People love you and people love your content. So to say it's enough for 2023, no. You need to give us more.
No, I mean, I'm definitely, I'll be going to the studio just now. I'm always working. It's just, I guess, for now what people get to listen to. I think we've given people enough, but there is a lot of stuff in the studio. I mean, I'm working with everybody. Ebo Chungu I don't know if the video is out, but it's got that Jennifer song, and we've got an entire album of his that we need to release. There's Damiano, Francia. There's just a whole list of, and of course Sampa the Great again. I mean, there's different, so much work in the studio, and I'm looking forward to people hearing all of it. And we never stop. We keep working.
The churn never ends.
No. We keep going. Yeah.
Okay, great. But then we also need to clarify one thing.
Right.
You know, I Am and Brave Only Music.
Right.
Were these just simply labels of how they've been somewhat infused into Radio Cafe? Yeah.
So with that, it's very. And I mean, you see, like I was saying, this 10 years has come with a lot of ups and downs, you know. So when we started IM, it was me and my business partner and longtime friend, Ian Chitundu. We started our studio, and it was just the two of us. So we said, okay, look, we'll call it IM. So he was Ian, I'm Magnus. So it's, you know, IM, straightforward. So, you know, we're making music. We did our first albums, which were Pompey's Mijo album, Tio's Love AD, and Ebo Chungu's album, the first album. So when we did those albums, a friend of ours joined us and said, okay, you guys, you know, you need to do more than music. There's more that you guys can do. I believe you've got the talent to do it. So that's how we expanded to Radio Cafe. So Radio Cafe now does all audio communications, whether it's adverts, TV shows. I mean, we do so many things. It will take the whole day for me to get into all of that. Yeah, but we do a lot of anything to do with sound, whether it's TV ads, everything we do all of that at Radio Cafe. So that's the core business for me. Then later on, because of course, as much as we're doing a lot of those ads and stuff, I still wanted to do music. So that's how I started Brave Only Music. So with Brave Only Music, there was a lot of issues involved. Of course, you know, the thing with being in the music business is you have to realize that the artist is not just an artist, he's a human being, and you have to communicate to the human being. You have to have a relationship with them. So now there was that issue with management and artists, so it didn't really work out as much as well as we thought it would. So that's how we ended up closing down Brave Only Music and starting Loop College, which is our music school. Because what we realized is that we spent more time developing artists than we actually spent releasing artists. Okay. So that's how. So now it's Loop College and Radio Cafe.
All right, great.
Yeah.
And we do have a caller all the way from Chipata.
Yo.
Hello, how are you doing? Give us your name.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We're great, Rosique. So please go ahead. Mag is here with us in studio. Hit him with all the questions you have.
Rosique, Mulibwanji.
I don't really have questions. I just want to say congratulations to him for the whole good 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I know I don't know most of his music, but I know some.
Wow.
And the only thing I've seen is the great work and the amazing work that you and Pompey have been giving us.
Wow,
Thank
wow.
you so much, and congratulations. I wish you many more good things to come.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you very much, Rosique. That's a very unique name. What does it mean?
Huh?
What does Rosique mean? Rosique. What does it mean? Your name?
Someone who is expressive and self-reserved.
Oh, wow. Okay. What language is that?
Yeah. It's actually an Italian name.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's such a dope name. No, it's a cool name, and thank you for calling. Kulibwanji Kuchipata.
Kuchipata kulitaka kulinoti kujache dove.
Nzaka bwera kuichitako test yo yamine yo do. No, thank you so much, Jose. God bless. Thanks.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, that was Rosé calling in from Chipata. Really nice name.
Really
so
nice
Italian.
name. Yeah, Italian.
I also love the translation.
Yes.
Name.
Yeah, it is cool. It is very cool. Yeah.
But getting on with the show and everything else, a lot of people tend to have some beliefs, and we've seen a lot of collaborations between, gospel artists and other artists. But this being a Christian nation, quote unquote, people have a very hard time trying to figure out why most of the times gospel rappers, musicians would collaborate with secular musicians. But in your line and in your profession, how has that worked in terms of you balancing your faith and also, trying to really push out some good content?
I mean, it's difficult, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to promote messages you don't necessarily agree with. But, sometimes it's like, okay, this is your job, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you work for a bank. And you're a Christian, you know what I mean? So it's like the bank's not a Christian, but you are. So that's kind of the space. I mean, I work with obviously secular businesses and secular artists, but I'm also just grateful to a lot of them, because a lot of the secular artists, as much as they don't do gospel music, they do music that is good music, that's very creative. I love being in a creative space. I'm a creative myself, so I don't want to just create things because I want to be able to make art, and there are a lot of artists who I've worked with who have challenged me to make good art, you know what I mean? And I'm super grateful for those opportunities. And it is a difficult balance, but somehow I think like God gives the grace to be able to create, and my prayer is always like, okay, Lord, if you don't want me to do something, like, let it just not come to me. I know it's a bit of a lazy, but like, I'm just like, hey, you know what? Because sometimes it's hard to determine what you should or should not do, especially if it's not as clear cut as don't steal or don't kill. You know what I mean? So sometimes making that decision, you really just need wisdom from people who are older and wisdom from God. And that's what I try to do. I speak with, I've got mentors, I've got different people, and I say, hey, look, there's this project, what do you think? And, we talk about it and we say, okay, go ahead and do it. Sometimes they tell me not to, and I do it anyway. So it's just that I think the thing is we just need to do our best, and God does the rest,
Amen to that.
Right, yeah.
I mean, considering all the amazing projects you've worked on, those are definitely heaven ordained. And we look forward to more heaven ordained projects.
Thank you.
But, sometime in the year you did announce that you are now being managed by Holstar. What led to that decision, and how is it going so far?
Holstar is an amazing man. I met him when I released my second album. The album was called Brave Only, actually. So, it wasn't received well. I think the only song people liked on that album was Muintula. But people just didn't gravitate to it because it was a Zamrock album. So people were just like, what's this? Us want to hear Puririka and so, but Holstar liked it. So Holstar would post videos of him singing lyrics to the songs in the album. So so one day I met him at an event and I said, hey bro, like, what do you think I should do with this album? Because I feel like Zambians haven't gravitated to it. And then he said, why don't you like submit it to the Grammys? So I was like, okay. Like, like, wow.
We're reaching for the stars.
You know what I mean? I'm like, he made me start thinking like that. Like, he made me start thinking like, oh snap, there's a possibility of taking this music. Like, Zambian music can win a Grammy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was back in 2015. And, and that became my thought pattern. I remember putting it on one of my goals, work with Grammy-winning artists and win a Grammy. And so far, I've worked with Grammy-winning artists. So the next step you can conclude for yourself.
No, we will see that. We'll wait for the post. In fact, we'll quote this on today. We'll come back to this very episode and be like, remember that day when? Yeah.
We should.
Looking at the 10 years, obviously, that you are celebrating, what are we expecting from the concert?
From the concert, I mean, it's gonna be a celebration. You know, like of course, all my albums. So far, I've got 4 albums. I've got one with Pompey as well. This is the Buana album. So it's gonna be a celebration of all of that. It's gonna be a lot of Thanksgiving. So you know, like there's MAG44 didn't just become. You know, like there was a lot of people in the background pushing. A lot of people, you know, like just wanting the best for me. You know, and helping me get to where I am. So you know, there'll be a lot of that Thanksgiving, and of course all the artists I've worked with are gonna be there. So of course Pompey, Ebo Chungu Musuka, Tio, who's got a phenomenal song out now, Tima, and you know Tim, who has an amazing album out now, Christine, Chileche Walia, M7, Solomon Plate, The Proof, and the list goes on. So everybody's gonna be there. So it's just gonna be a big party, a big celebration, and it will be, you know, it will be on a Sunday. So after church, you can come. There'll be refreshments.
Church after church.
Church after church. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. I like that. I like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward.
All right, and getting into the last question of our interview. So
Right.
you know, your talent and your productions are definitely sought after both locally and internationally. And most recently, you did work on sound with the Super 14 alongside Sampa the Great.
Yes, yeah.
What was that like?
Man, that was crazy. I mean, you know, the thing with Sampa the Great is that every time like we link up, she's just always she receives these big calls from like, you know, internationally known artists, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the other times just like, oh, guess who's following me? P. Diddy. Okay. Like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So, like, she's just, like, things like that happen to her all the time. You know, Janelle Monáe follows her. I mean, Michelle Obama. I mean, come on, guys. Like, so, like, that's the life she lives, basically. So now she called and said, oh, look, there's this Netflix thing. And you know, things, because this was done a long time ago. It was done during the time we were working on our album. So she's like, yeah, let's produce the song for this Netflix show. So I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, I didn't say no. So we immediately got into the studio and started working on the song. And you know, the song came out, and the song was done, and you know, for like months and months, you know, the show didn't come out. So I kind of felt like, maybe it was just one of those things which was the same thing even for Can They See Us, the movie. Yeah. So Kenny Rock, who's also just an amazing guy, like he's done things everywhere in the world. And he said, look, I've got this movie, can we do the score for it? So I was like, okay, cool. So we did the music and the sound and all the other stuff. And so now we had 2 Netflix things that like are just quiet. So I was just like, what's going on here? And then like both of them are announced this year. So it's just like, man, I mean, I was just so excited, and I mean, there's just so many other things that have been going on, but like, you know, like I pay for a Netflix account every month, but I never thought that I would have content on it. You know what I mean? So it's just a huge blessing, and I thank God for all the goodness that comes with all the stuff. Yeah,
you know, following everything that you said during this interview, definitely 2023 has been a pretty packed year for you, which is why I understand when you say you've given the people enough. Enough for this year.
Please.
Let's push the rest to next year, because we'll finish everything now.
Exactly.
But this brings us obviously to the end of